Hello, wooden boat fans. Captain James here, coming to you from the flybridge of the Junie Moon here at Boat Haven Boat Yard in beautiful Port Townsend, Washington. So today we're doing the final episode of our rot repair, or finding the rot as it were, and we are doing the sculptwood and the final fair, or with the fairing compound. That would be the final fair. Fair is the final. It's fair in the final fair. It's fair enough. Anyway, so we get to see the those rotten patches finally get completely done, and in the next few videos you'll see them with paint on it. But we're gonna go from this project to the bottom paint. Stay tuned.
No, that's not Play-Doh in my hands. That's actually sculpted. It's made by System 3, and it's another product that we use on the boat. It's equal parts A, which is the white, and B, which is the brown, and then we mash them together. Yeah, and then that's what you do. Wait, is that dog Calvin I see back there? What's he doing sneaking around? Anyway, I continue to knead it in on itself here, and then we kind of get it all mixed up, which is the fun part. There's part right there, System 3 Sculptwood Putty, and part A is right there behind it, the white stuff. That's the stuff right there. It works really good. You can sand it, you can paint it, you can, well, a lot of things. You want to continue to mix it until all of the white streaks are completely gone, and then you can make your repair with. And here we go on to the repair. So you see it, I got a little kind of a sausage there, and I rolled that between my hands to make that shape. However you can do it. Always work when you're working with sculptwood, because while it doesn't like to stick to latex, it really likes to stick to skin. So here we go. We're going to put it down inside of our void, and we're trying to get to the bottom of this void so there's no air pockets in between the sculptwood and the rest of the wood. That way it makes a nice adhesion, or a nice, repair. Well, that's what we're trying for. It's a nice repair. Wood is an epoxy, and it literally becomes part of the wood around it. So it's important touches on all sides. You can see here, this is how we do this. We kind of squish it down in there, and then we're getting ready for some fairing compound. Well, that's what comes next. The sculptwood is really good, but it's a little too porous to be completely waterproof. So you want to treat it with something like a fairing compound or a paint. So, this is kind of how you do it. You just kind of squish it in there. And if you're laying with Play-Doh, come see me sometime, because I got a job for you.
And see, you just use, if you try to stuff it all into the void, you're going to end up with air behind it. So the best thing to do is to do it in little chunks like you've been seeing me doing. Just kind of push it up in there. Get to where you're going to be. It's nice. Oh, we're starting to kick. Get her in there quick. Beautiful. See, it just slides right in there like that. Work that in there a little bit. That's a lot of putty to be putting into an area, but I'm going to be honest with you, I really, short of taking the whole boat apart, I really am not sure how else we would have repaired that. I know an area for this. We're going to put it right up here. Alright, it's starting to set up. This is the time when you want to, I'm going to tell you with sculptwood right now that the cleaner it is when you're done, the easier it is on you for sanding. Sculptwood is pretty okay to sand, but it gets a little hard. So there we go. And then we'll go mix up some more and put it in there. So I think that's a nice repair. That'll work good. There you go. That'll harden up. No more water in there, ever.
This one's taking quite a bit.
Well, it's a huge void. It should have been, this patch should have gone all the way through. They used too thick of a patch up here. They'd had to bevel it down below to get below the deck. And whoever whoever did it wasn't getting paid enough money, didn't care enough, wasn't their boat, whoever, whatever. So this is how we will fix it. It will give a solid repair. Sculptwood's pretty cool stuff. It can be used just like wood. You can screw it, sand it, fill it, whatever, fair it. It's just hard plastic wood. That's all it is. Literally does the same things as wood too. If you don't pre-drill your holes, it will crack and all kinds of stuff. In this case, probably the most important thing that we wanted to do with it is fill the void. And I'm gonna have to mix up another little chunk there. Do that real quick. All right, let's see if we can finish this here. You can tell you got enough when you're squishing it like this, and you see how it moves the rest of it. So that means I've completely filled that crack, which is what we were aiming for. Well, that wasn't a crack. I'm not sure what that was.
How long does this need to sit?
It's dry to the touch after 3 hours, and you should wait. I usually wait 24 to sand it, but you should wait at least. I've heard it can be sanded in as little as 6. I like to actually kind of, come out and take off the excess as it's drying. Again, our main goal here was to keep it out of the boat, so I think that accomplishes that. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. Got a little bit more here. So this is where it's a lot easier if you have parchment paper.
Because parchment paper doesn't stick to the putty.
You can just put it right on, yeah.
That's nice.
It gets hard though at the ends if you don't. It's hard because you have to get it to seal to the end of the crack, otherwise water will still get in there. So you see me do that sort of swipe motion like that, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just to get it to completely fill that little crack. Same with that, it's not too bad. Oh, we're getting hard. It might be a little bit too much for there. Don't be afraid to get it on the teak, it will sand right off. And you see why I filled this with putty. So the rest of this, the bigger holes we filled with wood, but the rest of it was kind of a little bit too small to be. Whoops. So we're almost out of Schlitz here. Put that guy right there. Okay. This guy. Force some of that into that crack up there. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's kind of a little spaghetti. It looks pretty, brutal when you're doing it this way, but it works. Get this off my fingertips. And I like to do this around where the edges are, because you know it's going to help those edges when you sand them later. So that's filled. We'll fill this guy up here. Nice. That crack is nice and full. That crack can look a little prettier maybe.
So this is the finish compound that we use, System 3 Quick Fair. It comes in two parts as well because it's an epoxy. There's a part A and a part B. It's 3-to-1 when you mix it, and you want to apply it with a putty or some kind of a spreader like a Bondo spreader.
Using too small of a spatula, but because I got talent, I think we can make it work. Okay, so this is what everything should look like when it's all faired in. You can see here, nice and smooth. So this is all just fairing compound, and this is the finishing touches, and then from here you can sand it with the sander. A couple more over here. We'll look at these major ones where we had the electrical wires. So here's where we did some patches. Pretty major patch down there that we did. And then this one. This is where all the electrical stuff was. So there you go. And it's rained since we've put the fairing compound on, and it's a hard epoxy that shines or dries shiny, so it will actually repel water. Well, how was that? At least there's not holes in the boat anymore. We'll sand it and we'll paint it, but I don't think you guys need to watch us sanding and painting it. So you'll see the finished results here in a little while. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this is the end of the finding the rot, which would mean we've found all the rot on the house, honey. Holy cow! All right, so stay tuned, because what we've got next is the bottom paint. That's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a little bit involved on that because this is a wooden boat. We use a whole different set of products on this, so stay tuned.